So a couple of days ago I made a video about the insane new update that's on alpha, i.e. the new weapons that are being introduced, and the huge buff that's coming to the Berserk class. Now when I made that video, the update had first came out, and we now understand a lot more about the weapons and the pieces of equipment. Obviously when there's a huge new update coming, people start speculating, start investing, and there's number one, a lot of money to be made, and number two, you can never be too prepared. Now obviously the actual items that you need to craft these new weapons are gonna go up in price. That makes complete sense. Some people are going to want these items in order to make profit so they can invest and basically flip them when they go up, or they might have already done that. Other people might want them just so they can actually craft these new weapons. So today we're going to be taking a look at how you can prepare for this new update. Should be interesting. First of all, we're going to take a look at the Bouquet of Lies. Now, to craft this weapon, we're going to need one regular Flower of Truth, we're going to need 3 stacks of 48 Ancient Roses, we're also going to need 2 stacks of Compost, and a Wood Singularity. Honestly, for a weapon, this has got to be one of the most interesting crafting recipes I've ever seen, considering you need a lot of farming material. I don't know. Interesting. Also, the regular Flower of Truth requires you to basically craft it with 9 Ancient Roses, and this one, well, yeah, just slightly more. Before we go any further, make sure to use code NITROS if you are purchasing anything from the Hypixel store. It gets yourself 5% off. Also, you should subscribe to the channel, it does help out a lot. And you should join the Discord server, it's linked in the description of this video. We do things like Dungeon and Slayer carries, or even if you want to carry, you should join the Discord. Now, to get Ancient Roses, you basically just need to play floor 6. In the boss room, you need to kill the giants. That's pretty much it, you have a chance of dropping them. And as you can see, in the last week, yeah, the price, crazy. Looks to be probably around about 50k. And yeah, now we're looking at what, 250k each, so I guess in terms of investing, chances probably already gone, considering, well, it's already gone up so much. Well, there's nothing to say you can't just literally bash out some 4-6 runs and just basically speedrun them. It should be relatively straightforward, just make sure you kill all the giants. Are they giants or golems? Yeah, the golems. I feel like a bit of an idiot. They're a 4% drop chance. You can also actually get them in the chest, the reward chest, but the majority of the people just get them from the golems. Plus, they're really expensive as well. Now, you also need 2 stacks per Bouquet of Lies to actually craft, so it makes sense to have your composter constantly running, producing compost. The price for compost in the last week has also spiked massively, going from something like 5k all the way up to over 27k. So that's kind of crazy too. Even though you kind of miss your chance to invest, you can still simply just have this running and you're going to be making way more coins than you used to be, even if you just want it for coins. Or of course if you want it for the weapon, also just keep it running. 2 stacks? Of course you can also upgrade your composter to make it run more efficiently too, so that might be something you want to think about. As for the Wood Singularity, well, you do only need 1 to craft, but look at the price of this. Okay, the thing is, this looks to have been well below 1 million, probably about 500k. And now this is what? Nearly 6 mil. Yeah. You probably missed your chance with that too. I mean, of course, to actually get the Wood Singularity, you could farm up the wood yourself and then just pay 1.5 mil. But in terms of coin value, it's still going to add up to something very similar to the price on the actual bazaar, so up to you. Now, first of all, to use the Bone Reaver, you're going to need a Catacombs floor 4 completion, which I think is really quite generous. That's really low. In addition to that, to actually craft it, you're going to need 20 enchanted bone blocks, 5 spirit bones, and also 1 spirit sword. Just take a look at the price of enchanted bone block. Holy, this is ridiculous. It was very, very cheap, and now it's nearly 400k. Yeah. As for the spirit bone, which you're going to need 5 of, I've got a feeling this has gone up a ton as well. Yeah. Look at the price. To obtain the spirit bone, of course, once again, it's just a case of running floor 4s. You get a spirit bone from just simply doing 50 runs of floor 4. Floor 4 is horrible and is by far the worst floor in dungeons, that's why I've only ever done 23. Your chances of getting a spirit bone are relatively high. You've got a 2.4% chance or a 12k RNG meter. Now, as for the enchanted bone blocks, if you do want to craft them, you're going to need over 150k bone collection. To craft 1 enchanted bone block, you're going to need 2.5 stacks of enchanted bone. And of course, for each enchanted bone, you're going to need 2.5 stacks of regular bones. Something like a skeleton minion might not be a bad idea. Now, as a direct upgrade to that weapon, we have the Fellthorn Reaper. To craft this, we're going to need the Bone Reaver itself. As I said, it's a direct upgrade. We're also going to need a Necromancer Sword, 1 Null Blade, and 96 Fel Pearls. Well, let's see. Assuming that you've already got the Bone Reaver, we can move on because we just went through that. You're also going to need a Necromancer Sword. A Necromancer Sword is a drop from floor 6, and it's going to set you back around about 10 million coins. Now, let's see. If you get an S+, for the most part, you're going to have a slightly better chance of actually dropping this. If you get an S+ in floor 6, you're going to have just over a 1% chance to drop. You're also going to need 1 Null Blade, which at the moment is 67 mil. This has gone up a ridiculous amount in price. Look at that. Probably around about 7 to 8 million coins, and now up at what? Oh my god. If you would have got your investments on point there, that would have been crazy. But even so, let's take a look at the actual crafting recipe. We need 3 Null Edge, we need a stack of Null Void, and then we also need a stack of Enchanted Quarter Blocks. Now, of course, because of needing this Null Blade to craft this new weapon, everything else has gone up in price, including the crafting recipe. But if we actually take a look at what we need to craft the Null Edge, if you look at it, everything has gone up in price, which kind of means that anything that you do to obtain these actual things is kind of better to do, considering you make more coins from it. Especially these Null Atoms, Quartz, and for the Null Voids. So even though you might have missed your chance to invest, it doesn't mean you can't make a lot of coins considering whatever you would have done previously, you can just do more of, or the same of, and make more coins. In fairness, this weapon is pretty cracked, so it kind of is worthy of the expensive price tag, especially what they've done to the Berserk too. And then finally, Fel Pearls. These finally have a use. People just used to throw them away because they're useless, but now they're selling for 14k. That is ridiculous. Basically, to craft a Fel Pearl, or not to craft, to actually drop a Fel Pearl, you basically just have to kill the Fells in dungeons. You know the upside down Endermen that are really weird and you can't actually damage with anything long range until you get up close to them and then they start to kill you. You know, definitely not speaking from experience or anything. Well, yeah, don't throw them away because they're 14k each. Just sell them now. Everyone's going to need 96 of them each, so yeah. Something that I've noticed is when I made the last video on the alpha, when basically it first released, there was kind of a hybrid between a giant sword and a precursor eye. And it was called, I think, a giant's eye sword. And that's been completely removed. And I think that was completely removed actually shortly after I made the video, which is really interesting. I don't know whether they just had a complete U-turn on that or what's going on there. But yeah, I don't know. It just completely disappeared. And when I made the video and it came out, and then a few of the people from the Discord were like, where's that sword gone? And I was like, what? And then it just disappeared. Kind of strange. And a lot of items have gone up in price. For instance, the Dark Claymore went up from about 300 mil to over 500 mil. Ridiculous. Understandable though. I think something that's got to be said is we don't even know when this update is going to come out. I hope it comes out soon because it is ridiculous and I just want it to be on the main server so I can actually, I've wanted to play Berserk for so long, and I used to play Berserk back in the day when basically the other classes weren't so strong. But obviously now it's pointless playing it, as of now. But I think what this update really does is it means that there is more of a point of playing the lower floors. For instance, floor 4, if you drop a Spirit Bone, you're going to make way more coins than you used to. Simple as. Floor 4 is horrible. Granted. Really horrible. Probably, personally, I think it's the worst dungeon floor, just because of how stupid it actually is. But at least there's a little bit more meaning to playing it. Especially for floor 6 with the golems dropping the ancient roses, everybody needing so many of them to craft the Bouquet of Lies, and the price of them going up so much. Of course, everything else, things like the Necromancer Sword that you need to actually craft the weapon as well. Just gives a lot more meaning to actually playing dungeons as well, even just for money. Anyway, let me know what you think. If you have enjoyed today's video, make sure you do leave a like, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one.
With the